Hello and welcome to FANFIC TALK, episode 12. I'm Dominic. And today we have two very special, I've already said this before, for this very special episode. We have two very special subject matters. What?
Subject matters.
And today we have two very special topics to cover. Cheese, what are our topics today?
Avatar.
Remember Avatar? You remember Avatar?
The blue guys.
Oh yeah, was that the cat?
And Zelda.
I never heard of that one. I think that we should start off on this fine evening. Back on our old set because we lost our previous nice set in a raging fire. It was no one's fault. I think we'll start off the day with the Zelda category.
Oh god.
Now, Cheese, you are the Zelda expert among us, and you're the expert of so many other things, because I just don't know anything about anything, apparently. So you might have to kind of transcribe what's going on here.
There's not really much to transcribe.
It's a very detailed lore, Cheese.
Not
Have you
really.
seen the Zelda timeline?
No!
Nintendo planned it all out from the very beginning. All of it. Now then, our first fanfic of the night is
Faint by EvilDude.
and our second
An
is...
epic for the light.
Thank you. Both of these sound incredible, but I'm afraid we can only have one. Alright, I think it's time for us to flip the coin.
Alley Cat 1312.
Let's go to the coin!
Come on, let's go.
Let's go to the
Come on,
coin!
let's go.
Let's go to the
Come on,
coin!
let's go.
Let's go to the
Come on,
coin!
let's go.
Come on, step it up!
You had to take it there, didn't you?
Yeah. Cheese? What is what? Is what?
Heads will be epic for the light, and tails will be faint by EvilDude.
Well, I'm excited. Are you, Cheese?
Yeah.
Let's get started. Flip that coin.
Faint by EvilDude.
So our first fanfic is Faint by EvilDude. That actually is the title. I thought you were just reading it like that's who it was by. But it's not by EvilDude, it's actually by Prashant. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. I guess we'll find out. I'll read the description.
Angst and romance.
That's the category, is angst and romance. So we're in for a good time here tonight. Link and Zelda can't be together. Songfic to Faint by LP Meteor. Oh, wait a minute. So, is Faint like an actual song? Oh, this is a song! This fanfic is actually set to a song, like a real song in real life. I guess this is the part of the episode where we look up Faint and listen to the tune. Yep.
Aww! Linkin Park.
Oreo thins.
What's up with fanfics?
Thin twist on the Oreo cookie you love.
I feel the angst.
Me too.
A little bit of loneliness, a little bit of disregard, handful of complaints, but I can't help the fact that everyone can see these scars. I am what I want you to.
Alright, that's enough.
8 reviews. 1 favorite. I wonder who favorited this. It was probably the author himself or herself. Okay. I guess I'll start. I I guess it's time for us to read.
Let's get going.
Andale. Faint. It was a perfect day outside. No rain. The sun was shining. I guess I should be reading this like a song, shouldn't I?
No.
It's a perfect day outside. No rain. The sun was shining.
Stop.
The weather was perfect and made everyone else feel perfect too, except for Link. He would never be happy. He looked outside and wanted it to rain as an excuse to be angry. But he knew it was her fault. She was the cause of his problems. It was his fault too. He depended on her too much, but now without her, he was nothing. So Link he's going through some turmoil right now. And oh, now the lyrics start up. Jeez.
I have a little bit of loneliness. A little bit of disregard. Can't hold the blank, but I can't help the fact that everyone can see the scars.
Set that to music. Give us an album. Is that how music works?
Like an idiot.
Link didn't know why she left him. He had been there all her life, helped her when she needed it, and did everything he could to make her happy. He was everything she could have wanted, yet she didn't want to see him anymore. And she didn't even tell him why. He wanted to know why she didn't want him, what he had done to make her leave him. Big Cheese, you should know, has Link and Zelda ever had like a thing, or has it always just been like best friends? What timeline is this set in, Cheese? That's what I'm asking.
I don't know. I don't think they've ever been a thing. I think just at the end of the second game they ever made, I think there's a scene where the curtain falls and it hints to the fact that she kisses him. That's the only time that ever happens, though.
So this fanfic is set in the darkest timeline?
Yeah.
Well, that's just great, Cheese.
I am what I want you to want, what I want you to feel, but it's
like no matter what I do, I can convince you to just believe.
This is
real. We're totally off. We're totally off on that one.
It's my turn.
Okay.
He tried to forget about her, start a new life, where he wouldn't need her. He wanted
Wendy's double stack
to.
is still an option in the 4 for $4. With a quarter pound of fresh beef, that's a deal so good it should not exist. Like Wendy's double stack is still an option in the 4 for $4. With a quarter pound of fresh beef, that's a deal so good it should not exist. Like how owls shouldn't be able to turn their heads off.
He wanted to forget everything and anything that had ever happened. She would have forgotten by now. So why couldn't he get over it? No matter what he tried, he still missed her. And there was nothing he could do to change that.
So I let go watching you, turn your back like you always do. Face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll be here cause you're all that I got.
Wow.
Link knew his life was wasted.
Hey, I feel you there, brother.
No, I have a fulfilling life. What are you talking about? Is this even going to have a plot, or is it just going to be Link feeling angst and then song?
Yes.
Okay.
He had no one to be with. She was the only person he would ever love, but she had left him. It was too late now. Too late for him to recover himself. He would never forget her. He only wished that she didn't forget him.
I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back at me, I won't be ignored.
Time won't heal this damage anymore. Don't turn your back at me, I won't be ignored.
Yeah.
This is just going to be Fanfic the Musical, isn't it? Zelda looked outside and saw the sun shining brightly. It reminded her about how happy she used to be when they were together. But all that was gone. And all she could do was act like she'd gotten over Link. But she hadn't. It was her father's fault. He thought Link would put a bad impression, as he didn't even have a mother or father. And that was when she whatever. And that was when she ran to Link and told him that they couldn't be together. She saw the look on his face and knew he didn't understand her. And Link never even talked.
I am a little bit insecure, a little unconfident, cause you don't understand. I do what I can, but sometimes it don't make sense.
angst. Keep that collar popping.
Pop that collar.
She tried everything with her dad. She backed and backed, and this. Gosh.
If I can't see it, it goes away.
And she finally realized he would never let her be with Link. She didn't know what she had done wrong. She had been the perfect daughter. But now there was no chance, and her dad made sure that she could never meet Link.
I am.
Wendy's Double Stack is still an option in the 4 for $4. With a quarter pound of fresh beef, that's a deal so good it should not exist. The Double Stack and the 4 for $4. A deal so great, it's impossibly good. But not for long.
She knew it was impossible. She knew she could never convince her dad. She hated her dad at that moment.
Oh, wow.
I hate my dad.
I feel like the author of this story might kind of be projecting his or herself into
Yeah.
the story.
He would... It's a very personal story.
That's interesting.
Yeah. He would ignore her no matter what she did. He did this before, but not with something so important as Link. But she went to her dad's chamber anyway and cried. So I let go watching you, turn your back like you always do, face away and pretend that I'm not, but I'll always be here because you're all I got.
God. She would never be able to love anyone else. It was just too hard.
We get it!
Yeah, this is kind of dragging on. Like, she can't live without Link.
You know, that's yours. It's not...
That's
still
mine?
Quite a bit left.
Really?
You
Oh my
can
God.
finish them.
Okay, I'll finish it.
Don't spill it on your laptop.
Don't worry.
Don't spill
This
it.
is safe.
Don't do it. Yeah, that's not a good way to hold that.
This was it. Wait, where am I? She would never be the same, able to love anyone else. It was just too hard for her to carry on with her life. When the reason for her life had been taken away from her.
Oh my gosh.
She knew crying didn't achieve anything,
Yes,
but
it
she
did.
couldn't stop herself. She knew her dad could hear her, but he did nothing. It was as if he didn't even care!
I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me, I won't be ignored. Time won't heal this damage anymore. Don't turn your back on me, I won't be ignored.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
This was it. Zelda stood up. She had enough of this. She wanted to let it all out and let him feel the way she did with Link. She screamed at her father, and before he could do anything, she ran away. She wanted to get away. Her father was so taken aback, he thought that she'd come back. He knew where she'd go anyways. And he had better ways to get there. He transported himself to the sacred forest meadow and thanked Rauru.
I recall the name, but I don't remember who it is.
Wow, some fan.
Hey, I just play the games.
And
They're
thanked
fun.
Rauru mentally for giving him Zelda's powers.
I don't have to care about the character.
What if Rauru is like a central plot point of this story and now we can't follow anything? Oh, the story's long.
Now hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me like it or not. Right now. Hear me out now. You're gonna listen to me whether you like it or not. Right now. Wow.
That doesn't even fit what just happened in the story because she
Link
ran away.
Had Link.
Oh, shoot!
Making some serious dosh off
Needed
this.
to let some rage out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Funny story.
What a funny story, Link.
Link had given up hope. There was nothing to do.
He's not the only one.
She wasn't going to be there in his life. Well, he wouldn't have a life. He walked to the edge of the forest where he remembered Saria Player's song.
Saria?
Yeah, that's a character from Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina?
Well, some people call it Ocarina, but I think it sounds dumb that way.
You're not a real Zelda fan, are you?
Arcania of Time. The Arcania of Time. Macarena. It was one of the Arcania. Macarena. Ocarina. Ocarina. Sonic Ocarina.
You said Ocarina.
I call it
obviously.
Ocarina. That's
Oh,
the way I
geez.
always said it since I was a kid. Ocarina sounds stupid.
Ocarina. Macarena. It was one of the Macarena. Arcania. I don't know. Can I rape you?
Ocarina sounds so much better, in my opinion.
The song that helped people find their way in the woods.
I'm assuming it's not this song. That'd be weird.
But now there was no one. No. Now there was no one there. No one to help him. No one but him. He looked around and made sure that no one could see. He knew that what Saria meant by the word lonely. But even she was gone, safe in her world. Their master sword,
What's that?
the sword that seals the darkness.
Ah, yes.
They only say it that way in Breath of the Wild, and it's so annoying.
Little darkness-sealing sword on your back.
Yeah,
Shouldn't Master Sword be capitalized?
yeah.
Tisk.
The master
Minus
sword
one fanfic point.
glimmered in the light before the body fell to the. Oh my god!
Wait, what?
Before
Why are bodies falling?
the body fell to the floor, and everything on the body near it was soon stained with red.
Wait, what? Hang on.
I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn your back on me. I won't be ignored.
I think he just killed himself.
Yeah, that was the weirdest, most sudden death I've ever seen.
Well, how did he do it? Did he pull out like a bomb or something?
That was the weirdest death. I'm gonna have to read that like 7 times. Okay, Zelda knew that Link would be there waiting for her. She ran as fast as she could to Kokiri Forest. Kokiri! As soon as she entered, the Kokiri knew that she had come to see Link. They had seen Link so depressed.
Do you understand life?
Do you? That is because of Zelda. Zelda realized at once that she must be in the sacred forest meadow, but she asked Kokiri where he was. She was right. I'm getting it. I'm slowly getting it.
That was good.
They say he was in Lost Woods. She ran as fast as she could. She couldn't wait to see him. If only she had powers, she could give her up there instead. Her father insisted on Zelda forgetting anything had ever happened.
I can't feel the way I did before. Don't turn back and I won't be ignored. Time won't heal this damage anymore. Don't turn back and I won't be ignored.
She got there, but it was quiet and empty. She looked around and remembered this was where Saria used to wait for Link, and where Link should be waiting for her. But there was no Link where there should have been. Then she looked at the body. Her heart stopped beating.
Oh my gosh.
The Master Sword, Link's sword, it was punched deep into the body.
He stabbed himself with his own sword.
She screamed as she moved towards the body. He was gone, Link was gone, but she had to make sure it was Link. She turned the body around to find her father's face staring back at her, his body drenched in blood.
What? Wait, was he dressed as Link? Or was he always Link?
No, I guess Link killed him.
But why would she think it was Link to begin with, though, if he was lying there? The king looks awful different from Link, does he
Right.
not?
Oh! It all comes together.
Yeah,
remember?
let's reread
Before.
this.
In this, where Zelda yells at her, he already knows where she's going, so he transports himself there, and then this pointless paragraph with Link, and then it says, and then you think that he kills himself.
And so
then
the king goes to the forest and finds the sword on the pedestal. But Link is at the pedestal.
Link stabs him.
And Link gets and stabs him through the heart. And there's a 32-degree angle to the sword and the heart of the Master Sword. But the Master Sword...
I don't see how she could mistake him
king,
for Link. If he's like already probably dressed in something regal, and the king is like always kind of bigger dude.
Yeah, and wait, he left the Master Sword plunged in the king? Like, you can't just leave that there. Isn't that one of a kind?
Well, one thing's for sure. If he killed the king with the Master Sword, he's not worthy of it.
Yeah, wouldn't he be like a fugitive? Or like some sort of...
I don't know.
Some sort of meanie?
He's not worthy of that sword anymore. No. The sword must now choose a new master.
Story already over? Yeah. 8 reviews. I guess I'll read the first one. What an ending! I thought it was Link.
This is it in the tone reviews.
What an ending! I thought it was Link. Anyway, great job on it. But why would Link kill the Kigan if he didn't know that the king didn't allow Zelda to be with him? But yeah, even this first commenter says they're confused. I'm confused at the moment. The second one even says, quite confusing.
Great job still? This is confusing.
Oh my goodness. Even Milan thinks it's confusing.
I think...
Spunky Pumpkin.
I think that it was kind of sweet of what Link did in this. That's not sweet at all.
In a sick way. That story was awesome.
Faint is also one of my favorite songs, so this songfic was a pretty much perfect for me.
But where'd Link go? I'm so confuzzled.
Yeah, why would he leave?
This story is very strange. I don't get it. I thought Link was going to kill himself, not the king. Wow, everyone is... they're together in their confusion.
He disagreed to let them need to be together because... Explain why. I think it was great. Personally, maybe you should make a sequel since kind of a cliffhanger. I love your song, Vic. You can make a sequel as another song, fuck. Cause if Link isn't dead, maybe like Zelda doesn't forgive him, or Zelda finds him and apologizes, and like the guy he killed wasn't really the king or something. It would be great. Awesome at writing.
That's really well said, Cheese. Last comment.
Cool.
The Rain Child.
Oh, gosh.
Question. Why would the king refuse? Link kinda saved the world. The king ought to be joyous about it. Sorry for being so harsh, but I don't understand where the objection would come in.
There might actually be a sequel. A sequel.
Oh! Wow!
Oh! With you. There's 4 in all. The first one's called With You. Link and Zelda have a fight. Betrayal. Link leaves Zelda for Saria. Let Me Down. Songfic on Let Me Down. Link, Zelda. Zelda cheats Link.
I guess we'll have to read them all.
Whoa, hello. At the end it says, to my GF. I love you.
Wow. So this is dedicated to his girlfriend.
I would
I'd assume they broke up shortly afterwards.
That's right. Favorite authors, Coon.
Oh, I see.
Oh, I know who favorite it is. Probably her.
Oh, yep. Yep. Has written 14 stories for Legend of Zelda, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Bleach.
Oh, goodness. Oh my gosh,
I
Bleach?
could use some Bleach right about now.
Whoa!
Bleach fanfic confirmed! Bring it in! Jeez, you're gonna have to get up so you can man the camera. Hey now. Turn that frown upside down. Well now, friends, family, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say except...
Hey, let's get the flip going.
Sorry, I'm a little shy. I don't know.
Let's go. Come on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Don't be shy.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay,
Mark, let's go.
Our first fanfic for
Camera
the
is
Avatar
loading,
category,
Mark.
Come Into the Light, or Self-Not-Self. That's what it says. And the second one, lesson number 1. Alright, I guess lesson number 1 will be heads, and Come Into the Light will be tails. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Come into the light!
Danny, why would you do this? Why?
What you do?
You could have died. Do you understand life?
Tommy is just seeping into this episode. Alright, Cheese, you read the description for Come Into the Light, or Self-Not-Self.
Oh, gosh.
By Golden Roya.
You know, watching Avatar always... Wait.
No, the description is...
It is taken for granted that avatars are empty bodies waiting for a human driver to give them sentience. But the science ran before the ethics and ignored the spark of self within the Na'vi hybrids! The being that lurked there just behind the eyes.
Well, I understood all of that perfectly. So I guess let's just get reading.
You know, watching Avatar always made me wonder, what happened to the sentient beings inside those avatar bodies? Did the scientists find a way to just turn off the soul to stop the Na'vi human hybrid from developing into a separate thinking, feeling intellect? Or is the Na'vi brain so young that it just lets the human consciousness ride right over it? It's an interesting idea that grabbed my muse and throttled it until I penned the following story. No, I don't own an avatar.
Really?
And nor...
This isn't James Cameron writing this?
And nor do I own the interesting ethical dilemma that this ever so humbly addresses.
Avatar sure is interesting.
Did you know that modern day scientists have figured out a way
Your brain just turn off? to implant
microchips in the brains of experimental animals so that they can be controlled remotely, thus making our fellow creatures into nothing but organic robots. Our ethics have to keep step with our science, people. That's all I'm saying. Shut up, Goya! Golden Roya!
Jeez, you guys have like a
That was
history.
way too much rage.
Yeah. Save it for
The
the
world
review.
was darkness. The world was darkness and heat and fluid and peace. But the being did not know this. It did not know darkness, for it had I've never known light. It did not know heat, for cold had never touched it. It did not know
It's
dry,
not a song
and
pick
so
anymore.
wet had no meaning, and peace did not exist, for neither did trouble. The being did not even know it was a being, for there was nothing to think of and nothing to know. It just was.
Word.
And then came cold as the fluid environment in which it floated and disappeared. The being knew its first shock to its comfortable world as it struggled for its breath. Oh dear God.
The body reacting without the mind, but it did not know that it was a mind, and so it discovered in very short order, cold in trouble, and eventually dry in the return to warm, which now existed for the being as a concept, if not a word.
This is really easy to follow.
Still, it did not know darkness, for it did not know light. Oh, that sounds
Do you know light?
Like something Tommy would say.
Do you understand life? Do you?
Okay,
Still, it did not know darkness, for it did not know light.
it lay inert where it had been placed. The being, shocked, awake by the conflicts in its bodily world, explored itself. What is this? The fluid opposite. The air traveling into no. What? No? What? Being pulled into the body was as its central chamber moved up and down. Vibrations touched its attention, and it felt the body twitch its appendages to hear, and the being, for the first time, encountered sound, which made it realize that it had been living in silence. Well, I guess this is like a soul, like, appearing in a body and taking it in? I think? I think the lesson here, please. The lesson here,
I'm dying.
the author wants to be a Navi. Everyone wants to be a Navi, Cheese. Everyone. Everyone. Where am I? 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 I completely forgot where I left off. I completely forgot. All the paragraphs look the same. I completely lost my place.
It's almost like you're not engaged in the story.
It's almost like I'm not engaged in this story. Wow, this is the first time I think not both of us have lost track at the same time.
I know where you are, but I won't tell you.
No, tell me, I don't know. Been living in silence. The being then became aware that it was a being, that something was noticing these things that were happening to the body. Hello, self.
Shut up.
It did not know much yet.
Stop trying to be so clever.
Yeah, it's just trying to be really deep.
Clever.
This is so clever.
It
I bet
don't know
the
much
comments are
yet.
going to say that.
But they became aware of self.
Self was a body, with a mind attached. Self could tell that there was much that was not self. The cold,
Shut up!
The cold it was perched on, not floating, floating. What? And there was a new concept. It had been floating. Now it was not.
Shut up.
Another new thing. This is really weird. This is a weird fanfic. This is a wacky, weird fanfic. With lots of twists and turns. Overall, 9 out of 10.
You haven't finished it.
Oh, that's right. I lost my place again. Now it sensed other not-selves moving about beside self. How many selves are in this story? Moving, not still. New thing. Self was fascinated. Not self was far more interested than self. But then there was... Cheese, for every time I say self, you have to bang your head against the table, okay? That way, there's something at stake here. Your life is at stake, all right? But then there was a new sensation. Self. Itself being touched, not body touched, self touched. The center of what self called self was being covered, pushed aside, moved by something that was not self. Self tried to resist new thing, resist as opposed to allow. As self stopped to think about this new thing, it felt its hold on self slipping away, disappearing before self was completely gone through. Not self gave in the gift, not self opened the body eyes.
Stop.
She's almost just died. This is terrible.
I'm angry.
Not self.
I'm really angry.
Not self opened the body's.
I'm angry right now. This is stupid.
Keep it together.
This is so stupid.
This may be the stupidest one.
This is stupid.
not self opened the body's eyes, and
This is
self
so
saw,
stupid!
only to be banished into the darkness, which it
my
hadn't
God.
known existed until then.
Dude, what's that?
I don't know. I think my body's trying to give up on me. It's like starting to give out. I'm past my expiration date. The body did as it pleased, moved by nervous system twitches that self did not make. Self could hear through the body, and self skin smell through the body's nose. This is sort of starting to weigh on me a bit. What was worse, self could not make the body open its eyes. Self was trapped in darkness. Self learned hope when it was lost to despair. The light had been so beautiful, and the darkness was very not. It was not light. Self wanted to experience light again. It's getting pretty intense, Cheese. And then, not self came again. Self could feel not self pushing against it, forcing its way into the body, and self allowed it, reluctantly, for when not self was there, self was somewhere else, nowhere, nothing. But then, not self opened the eyes and sent self away. Self was rejoicing, and it seen the light. After that, self was eager for not self to come. It learned time and waiting. It learned anticipation. Even though not self made self not exist. What? Even not self made self not exist. Self always got to see the light before not self fully came. During the long hours that not self was gone, self tried to make the body work for self by the way it worked for not self, but it would not help. Self always had to wait for not self to open its eyes and let the light come in on self.
Hello, not self greeted. Who are you? Self did not know. It did not understand. Self, you are not self. You came into this body. You, different form? Different from? Different from I, not self answered. Answered question, you share this body? Self sense not peace from not self. Not self said, this is my body. I've been driving it. You live here too? Live. I dwell here, answered self. I have always been here. I am self. Not peace from not self. I am sorry. A small word for such large concepts. Self was nearly battered back by them. But he fought forward through the confusion. New word for an answer. Self would have spoken with not self long before this is so self had known how. So many new things to know, to discover. Not self was full of turmoil. I did not think I was depriving you of anything.
Oreo and Oreo double stuffed cookies.
The barrage of meaning was less intense this time. Perhaps self was getting used to it, self answered. The light, only not self can turn on the light. I see the light just before I go. Self showed in not self a picture of what it saw, the flash that made the darkness utterly disappear for an instant before it was gone. And I wait to see the light each time. I cannot move the body. Only not self, only you can do that. Only you can let me see the light. I am coming to stay for the good this time, said not self reluctantly. I will never leave this body again.
Then, replied self, show me the light once more before I go. Not self listened. Self knew it. No, the words seemed to fit. Him knew that he was not hearing with the body's ears, but with something else, something deeper. Self tried, but it could not hear what not self was hearing. Another... Join me, not self replied.
Join me, Jace, and together we can end corruption of the Republic.
Suddenly, part of him reached towards self, inviting. What? Self didn't know the concept. Not self explained. Become part of me. See the light, and what's in the light. Light is not only not darkness, not self, was trying to fit into self's words. Light shows everything that is inside it. inside the light? Self was fascinated. Yes, not Self was happy. Come with me. See it all for yourself. See? Come and experience it for yourself. Self extended a part of itself and touched against not Self. Instantly, Self was sucked in, becoming not Self. Not Self, but part of a larger whole being.
I am complete, said the mind to himself. Human, Navi, both halves come together at last.
Wait, this is an Avatar fanfic?
And Jake slowly opened his eyes, looking at the world around him as if for the very first time. Perhaps it was.
Nothing? No claps?
That is the stupidest thing ever.
Wait a minute, Cheese. Wait a minute! We have 16 whole reviews on this. Kirakiru. This is interesting. This is interesting.
Do you plan on expanding on this at all?
I read this back a few months ago, but I hadn't had a chance to review.
Shut up.
This fanfiction is so wonderful. I'm entirely for Jake and the hybrid that'll finally live in the light. Avatar Tingal. Such a wonderful story. Its beauty and its insight leaves one breathless. That's the kind of comment I was expecting to see.
I am in love with your fanfiction. I wasn't sure if anyone else had thought so deeply into the avatars. Bravo, you even managed a happy ending.
It didn't sound happy. Not Self was like, join me, and together we will rule this body as father and son.
Trickster Sync. This was truly amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed reading this. When I first saw the movie, I wondered the same questions.
What questions?
I wondered how they could create a body and mind, but prevent it from working on its own. I'm glad other people have pondered this too. Well done.
I guess we didn't ponder hard enough, Cheese. The Crimson Tag says, I'm really at a loss. It really did leave me breathless. I am really at a loss for words at this point. Good job. Keep rocking.
Groovy.
Big Old Frog says, the way in which this idea has been crossed is nothing short of immaculate. Random the Navi. Oh my gosh, this is a long one. Here we go. This is jaw-droppingly beautiful. It addresses the one aspect of the Avatar universe that made me really uncomfortable. I was watching the avatars twitching in their tanks, their eyes moving just like someone in REM sleep. How can anyone living not have a soul? Bugs have little bug lives, doing little bug things for little bug reasons. How much more true must that be for a being with a brain, even more complex than a human? Our brains have 2 lobes, the Navi have 3. What? Oh my goodness. The way Jake's avatar gradually acquires self and being and a sense of self in time... I'm so sick of reading the word self. Is reminiscent of a thought experiment.
I think we should just skip this comment.
Yep. Wow, these are some very, very... comments.
Ardekani 4. Interesting take. I must admit, the thought of whether or not the Navi baddies had the consciousness to go along with it never crossed my mind. The way you played Jake in this was fitting, as well. He didn't... Jake.
Jake is the guy from
I
Avatar,
know.
I think? I don't know. Big Blue Jake. Fascinating way to approach this possibility, and it has a better ending than another recent one-shot about the possibility of Avatar having its own mind. If you read Project 880 Scriptment, pass, Pole Bear. Oh, I love it. There are no words for how well pass. Page 2. Waz 96, pass. Alright, time to go to the review.
So in the end...
Yep, we're done. Like, we're done.
Done.
We're done. This is the last episode of FANFIC Talk. Forever.
Oh, no, not 2. No.
I'm actually stuck. Help.
What's happened now? Waz 96. You have something amazing here. I was completely dying for the story from the point of the stuff. You do an amazing job describing what you felt like you're wearing. Keep it up, I want more.
Yeah!
Alright. So what did I think of the Zelda and Avatar
You alright?
fanfic?
Is everyone alright? Is everyone okay?
Well, the Zelda fanfiction opened me up to a whole new world of love and angst and a
emotion.
really great song by Linkin Park.
That's right, you should all go check out Linkin Park today. Buy their DVDs, buy their albums, buy their merchandise.
DVDs?
I'm not in the loop.
Albums.
I'm just not in the loop anymore. I haven't given my view on Zelda though yet. Which I don't have much of a view.
It really did the characters justice.
You think so?
I don't know.
I don't think it really did much of anything justice. I mean, for what it's worth, at least people enjoyed the Avatar fanfic. Nobody enjoyed the Zelda fanfic. Everyone called it confusing. No one knew what was happening. I guess we'll kind of get to
the
that.
Avatar fanfic was much more confusing.
Well, yeah, to us it was more confusing. I guess that's because we didn't care as much. We didn't go in with open minds. Avatar fanfic is
Garbage.
in my opinion, the stupidest, not the worst, the stupidest fanfic we have ever had the displeasure of reading on this show. Would you agree with that statement?
It's 12 episodes.
That is a tough
Well, you're
statement to
probably
make.
right.
We've done 12 episodes, which means 24 fanfics. Can you believe we've read 24 fanfics? What kind of losers are we? What are we doing with our lives?
In the end, no matter what, we lose.
We always lose. And the fanfic writers, they get away with these crimes against humanity. And both of these fanfics were crimes. They were crimes. They subjected us to torture. They subjected us to forced feeding of Oreo cookies. They forced us to
Strangulation.
They forced strangulation upon us. This fanfic, I can't even call them fanfics.
I mean, it's just asinine.
These
They're
were...
a part of my life.
Jeez, no. Don't say that.
Do you know life? Do you understand life?
This is stupid. This is all your fault.
Do you understand life? Do you understand?
Really solid, baby. No. Throw up the camera. Turn. Yeah, I'll take the head. You can take the body. Everything's fine. Everything's fine
This is
here.
how Susan was born.
Yeah, everything's fine. All right.
It's my kid. I decide what happens.
Nice.
No. Who's your favorite? That's a tough choice.
You know, honestly, I am a little torn. Kind of just because...
Probably Zelda because it was fun to sing.
we never get to sing. You know what? I'd agree with that, because I was kind of having trouble choosing. But at least the Zelda fanfic brought something new to the table that wasn't absolutely awful. Well, it was absolutely awful. But it was something new. And after 12 episodes of this garbage, I guess we needed something new. And I think that it's time for us to take a long, hard look at ourselves in the mirror. Oh, goodness. Alright, well, I guess that's the end of the episode. Zelda wins.
Yoshi's Island fanfic confirmed.
Yoshi's Island fanfic confirmed. That's the lesson of the day. That's the moral of this story.
Now.
Yoshi's Island and Mario Kart, make it happen.
Yep, make it happen, folks. Oh, I guess we're the folks. I guess we better get on that right now. Cheese, you have the last word. Make it good.
Do you understand why?
Do you? So you were asleep all this time? Oh well, maybe your memory will come back on its own.
Dude, what's that? I don't know. Dude.
Not a bad toy, but playtime's over, pal. What's wrong, buddy? Scared? Remember anything yet? You just can't get enough, huh? Here's Sonic!